Hey everyone, so before you ever ship an item, you have to make a decision on how you're going to charge for that. This is a big decision. This isn't something you should take lightly. This is setting your shipping policy on eBay. This can impact your profitability, your pricing, your competitiveness, and your stress level if you don't do it right. So let's talk about that. For anybody that's new here, my name's Kim. I am a full-time reseller. I've been doing this for more than 25 years, and I am here to help people who are new to selling or want to get started selling with tips and tricks, and hopefully give you a little bit of advice that will help you get going and lower your stress level and help you succeed. So there's two primary ways that you can charge for shipping on eBay. The first one is free shipping. Well, shipping's not free, it costs money. So when you offer your customer free shipping, it means that you are building the cost of that shipping into the product that you're selling. So if you want to sell your product for $20 and the furthest place in the country is going to cost you $8 to ship it to, then you should be charging $28 for that product. Now, if you're selling one-offs, you need to make sure that you're always collecting enough to cover the cost of shipping. If you have repeatables, you can kind of average that out. So if you have a repeatable and you say you have something that you have 20 of, and it's $8 to ship it to the furthest away in the country, but it's only maybe $6 to ship it to the closest place, you could technically build in $7, average it out, charge $27 for your product for that with your shipping, and it should equal out so that you're okay. You may lose $1 here and there, you may gain $1 here and there. And that's up to you. So with free shipping, when the customer purchases, you generally set it up with free shipping and standard shipping. And that way, when the customer purchases, you can ship it the least expensive way for you to ship it to them and get it in their hands. Or if it's close, it may not make any difference. You can ship it however you choose. So this might be a ground advantage, and then UPS as a choice second, and maybe priority mail as a third one. It's whatever makes sense for you for that address. You don't have to advertise how you're shipping it. You can just say standard shipping when you're offering free shipping. The biggest risk with this is if your estimate's wrong, you could lose money. So you need to make sure that you are doing a good job of estimating. You can go to USPS.com and you can see what it costs to ship to different places. Don't pay attention to the prices. eBay discounts shipping prices over and above what you see on there, but you can look at the differences in prices from one place, point A to point B, and see how you need to set that up. Math. You may want to start with a spreadsheet if you're going to do that and figure it out that way, and just do just a few columns, and then calculate what you think is going to work best for you. Or you can take the other route, and the other route is calculated shipping. Now on eBay, calculated shipping means that the buyer pays the shipping costs, and you put in the information so that the eBay system can calculate how much it will cost for the buyer to get the item to them from you. So what that means is you need to know how much the product weighs in the box and what the dimensions are of that box if you're putting it in a box. If it's a poly mailer, then you just put in the dimensions of the poly mailer. Usually it's like a 10 by 6 by 2 or something like that. And then your weight of the item. Now, clothing, a lot of clothing goes in poly mailers, so that works out really well. Then you add your zip code and you pick choices of mail types for the buyer to be able to select. Usually you start with the least expensive type on top. So generally, you're going to put your first option as ground advantage, and then maybe your second option is going to be UPS or priority mail. It depends on your product. And then your third item might be, or your third choice might be the opposite of that. Again, priority mail or UPS. But you generally want to put ground advantage first because it's the least expensive. That's the dollar amount they're going to see for shipping, is that least expensive one. And that's what you want them to see. Then eBay calculates the cost of shipping based on your zip code and their zip code and the weight and the size that you have put into the system. So when the buyer sees it, they see an estimated cost of shipping based on that information that you've put in there. Now, some buyers do not like paying for shipping, which honestly is absolutely ridiculous because shipping isn't free. We all pay for shipping in one way or another. You are paying for shipping. But I have had buyers email me and say, I'll buy this from you if you give me free shipping. And when I come back and say, sure, I'll give you free shipping, but I'm raising the price $8, then they're like, well, that's not what I meant. Yeah, I know it's not what you meant, but shipping's not free. So it is what it is. But the customer actually pays when you use calculated shipping. And in this setup, it's easier for you, it's less stressful for you because you don't have to estimate anything. The last thing that you really need to decide is handling fees. So, are you going to charge a handling fee, or is the cost of your product or your shipping product going to be built into the cost of or into the selling price of the item that you're selling? So, for example, let's say you buy new boxes, you buy bubble wrap, and you buy packing peanuts, and every box that you ship out costs you $1.50. Are you going to build that $1.50 into the profit of the product, or are you going to use a handling fee of $1.50? So it's really up to you how you do it. You may want to split the difference. In the case of what we do, we usually charge 75 cents handling fee. That helps cover the cost of the shipping supplies, but the rest of it, we just eat the cost of it, and it is what it is. It's built in, I guess, somewhat to the cost of selling because we have an overhead that we calculate when we're buying something to decide if we can afford to buy it and resell it. But so that's what you kind of have to decide on your handling fees. Remember that things cost money as you grow. Now, in the beginning, you can get a lot of stuff free, especially if you're not doing a whole lot. But eventually, if you're growing, you've got to buy boxes. You need tape, you need bubble wrap, you need packing peanuts. You have time that you've put into this. You might need labels. It's not free to ship, and shipping supplies are generally not free. So those are your two options and the handling fee information. So no matter which method you choose, just remember free, calculated, it doesn't make any difference. Handling fee, no handling fee. You've got to figure it out. Shipping is math. It's boring math, but it's still math. If you guess wrong, you lose money. If you calculate, you need to make sure that you're calculating correctly. You need to make sure you're using a scale so that you know what something really weighs. So there you go. Something to think about. Make sure you like and follow, and I will see you on the back road. Bye.